Hey look YouTube, it's a Benchmade, and this is We All Juggle Knives. This is the Benchmade Nakamura in carbon fiber, right, and S90V steel. Yes, and look at the kind of darker, what is that? It's kind of like electric blue, but darker around the pivot. Benchmade axis lock, dual thumb studs, and see the standoffs, they match the pivot. Nice. Let me see the liners. Yeah, that carbon fiber looks very nice. Now as for the opening, this thing is unbelievably smooth. In fact, I would almost say, offhand, it's hard to think of a knife that actually has a smoother pivot than this Nakamura. It's just like, it's like I don't even feel anything is there. All right, very smooth pivot. And I was fooling around with it, trying to see like how little force I could use to flick it open. I don't know if I could do it on camera, but yeah, I mean virtually no force. I almost just brushed against it, and it opened. Yeah, that is pretty incredible how they've done that pivot. And a close-up of the blade itself, you see. It's a spear point, 3-inch blade length with a stone wash, bevel there, swedge there. It's got jimping on the thumb ramp there. Kind of a weird blade shape, but that is the style, you know, of the designer. A size comparison with an Enzo Burke knife. Very cool knife by a Finnish company. Yeah, so it's about the same size. Here it is with a Delica, and again, you know, it's a compact everyday carry type, or size anyway, of folder, very handy, very convenient. And here it is next to a Fantoni hide. Ah, yeah, stiff competition in this size range. Which one do I like better? I don't know, the hide is quite a beast, but there it is. And here it is with my Brous Blades Bionic. Yeah, quite a lot of competition in this size category. And Benchmade competing with itself. My Benchmade Emissary folder. That is one of my favorite folders and one of my favorite Benchmades. So yes, many cool knives in this size category. Okay, and more glory shots. You know, you want to, if you're going to buy this, you want to see what you're getting. The price on this was about, I think it was like $265, somewhere thereabouts. It does look very nice, but then again, it's all a matter of preference, you know. Do you prefer a stonewash finish, first of all? Most people do. You know, what do you think of the accent on the pivot? Pros and cons of this knife. The convenient little size, definitely a pro. It is a little bit thick. See, it has steel liners and then the carbon fiber. It is a little bit thick in proportion to its length. Alright, other good things about the knife, as I said, ultra smooth, virtually frictionless pivot. Downsides, a lot of people don't like the construction of an axis lock. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there's definitely a vocal minority that, you know, just does not like the Omega springs. I think it's fine for a small knife. You know, I'm not going to chop down a tree with it, but it does have some benefits. Mainly, it doesn't take up much room or much weight, and it's very smooth. The knife does have a few small imperfections. If you look at how wide the grind of the edge is there, you see how wide it is on this side. On this side, noticeably more narrow. So, yeah, slightly uneven grind. The grinds on the swedge, right, there's a swedge. They are slightly uneven. You can see that the grind on this side starts slightly further down the blade, and the grind on that side starts a little bit before it. It's very minor. I guarantee only 1 out of 100 people would have even noticed that if I hadn't pointed it out. And you can see inside the liner there is a slight protrusion, right? I thought that was just a piece of dirt, but actually I tried to brush it away, and that's actually attached to the liner. Alright, so just a small little, what you call it, like a burr, just a tiny little protrusion of steel on the liner there, and there's a smaller one on the other side. Yeah, not sure what that is, but it's not the detent or anything. I checked that. So yeah, just a minor imperfection inside that liner. And the reason I point out those minor things is not to be nitpicky, but I don't want people to accuse me of just going easy on it or just being a mindless fanboy of the company. That is not the case. The stonewash is well done. S90V, I like it. Whenever I show an S90V knife, there's always someone who's like, oh my god, it's so brittle, it's gonna crack, it's gonna chip. Whatever, dude. It's steel, you know? I mean, even some of the worst steels, I wouldn't use the term brittle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's still a steel, but like I said, I'm not going to chop down trees with it. So, you know, I like that it's just, you know, you're going to have good edge retention. Overall, it's a very solid knife. As I said, you know, the biggest problem with this knife is just that in this little 3-incher category, there's some very, very stiff competition. You know, but that's not the fault of the knife. Alright, let's make some people cry. Yes, you can flip it open. Now I'm sure I'm going to get someone who's going to say, oh my god, you're going to destroy the stop pin. Oh my god, that knife is going to break. Look, I'm not saying to do that 1,000 times, but you know, it's not going to break from doing it one time. Well, let me show the centering because that is important to some people. The centering, it's pretty good. I think it's like slightly off that way, but not so that you can even really, it's kind of hard to notice. But if you look up further, there is a little bit less daylight on that side. But if you look down here, it's pretty good. Final thoughts on this knife. Well, it's kind of hard to assess something like this because it's so, you know, the price range is above, it's into like luxury items. So it's kind of like trying to assess a painting. I mean, when you get above a certain price point, it's pretty much what you subjectively prefer, right? Because will it cut things? Yeah, you know, I mean, so I can't assess it as like a practical tool. Is it a nice thing to have? Well, it's definitely a nice thing to have, man. I mean, it's like anything, like a Rolex watch or a classic car. There's other ways to assess something. I will do it. Bam. Then just like, you know, the most practical usage. But no, it's, you know, it's definitely not a budget knife, but who cares? Every once in a while, buy something that you like. It doesn't have to be this Benchmade, but, you know, something that you really enjoy. All right, this has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.